Hey everybody, welcome back to Your Cheddar, brought to you by Ally. They do it digitally, they do it right, and they'll do seriously anything to keep your cheddar stacked.
Yes, all right, well, being a single parent can be very stressful, especially when it comes to finances. And our next guest is trying to ease the burden. So we're happy to have with us Emma Johnson, author of the Kickass Single Mom. There you see her book, and we have it right here on set as well. Emma, good to see you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for joining us. All right, so a lot of stress for parents, especially too, over child support. And you say that actually you should say no to child support. Why is that?
Well, a lot of people take child support and depend on it after a separation or divorce. I know I took it for a while after my divorce, but what I really want moms, because disproportionately it is the moms that are taking the child support, to think beyond that sum, because we know that less than half of child support owed is actually paid, and the average sum of child support that is ordered by courts is less than $300 per month. So what ends up happening is people fight in courts, they fight amongst each other. It becomes a very contentious situation for often not a lot of money. And what I want parents to be doing is working together on behalf of the kids, thinking about co-parenting. And I want women to focus their energy and their effort not on collecting money from a man, but instead on going and earning, achieving on their own.
And so instead of putting the efforts toward child support, you think that they should put it toward building their own life and getting their finances in a good place so that they can provide?
Right, because if you're arguing with somebody and putting all the energy with somebody you're not in a romantic relationship with, especially, that's where your energy goes and you're dependent on him. I want you to go and earn and achieve and know how great it feels to feel independent financially.
I was so surprised to hear this. I mean, I've never heard anything like this before. What are some of the other financial mistakes that single parents end up making?
Well, it's very interesting. There's lots of research overall that Americans disproportionately save and invest for their kids' college futures over their own retirement. And single moms, interestingly, make that mistake more often than the general public. And my guess would be that they feel guilty, that we feel bad because our families don't look like we think maybe our family should have, or what our plan A was for our families. But really the best gift you can give is your own financial security. So that means peace of mind now. That's going to relieve stress in the house if you're making great savings and investing decisions for your future. And it also shows your kids great financial lessons, right? Exactly what they should be doing. And it shows your kids that you're making efforts to be financially independent of them, that you're not going to be a burden on them in your later years.
Are there ways to, in terms of percentages, that you think people should allocate in terms of money going toward a child's college tuition and also then going to retirement, ways to kind of like draw the line and break it up?
No, I say you absolutely need to get if you're on track and you are hitting all of those calculators for your retirement, then I wouldn't even put college next. I would say you need your emergency fund. You need to be investing in your own health. Maybe you have home repairs that need it. Your kids can always finance their own college. I know I was raised by a single mom. It was expected of me and my brothers that we would put ourselves through college. I'm very proud of that. I don't have any bad feelings from my parents for having that. I very much respect and appreciate the gift of the hard work that it took to put myself through college. And frankly, I might be in a great position to help my kids, but they're going to have to work and earn their way through at least part of their college too. I want to share those values with them.
What are some ways that single parents can protect family finances?
Well, I think the rules apply to everybody. You want those emergency funds and the investments for the future, and the life insurance and disability insurance is so important. All of those are especially important for single parents because single moms are disproportionately solely financially responsible for those kids. I mean, if we're working towards more equity in the workplace and more equity in families separated or married, but moms do have more of a financial burden. I want moms to be going big. I want them to be taking big risks in their career, making big financial goals for their families, because they don't have another person in the house to fall back on. Even when you're married, you know, even if one person's staying home full time, that person could ostensibly go back to work in the case of an emergency, a disability, a death, unemployment. But when there's one parent, the risks are higher, so take bigger risks because there's bigger safety in that.
But I think a lot of people might think that because there isn't that safety net of the other parent, they shouldn't take more risks, because if something doesn't turn out well, there's not as much of a safety net.
Because the downfall is,
exactly.
But I mean, look, we're sitting on the floor of the stock exchange. The more risk you take over the long term, the returns are statistically going to be higher. What I don't want women doing is saying, and I hear this from women all the time, they say, you know what, I have a very secure job, it doesn't pay a lot, I hate my boss, but it's safe. I really want to start this side business, or I really want to go for a promotion or go back to school, but don't you think I should make a decision as a single mom? And I'm like, well, look, unfortunately, statistically, single moms are poorer than the general population. So never make a decision as a single mom. Don't make a decision to be poor. Go big, be that great role model for your kids. Show them about taking good strategic risks, bringing in support, being smart about it. I never recommend anybody being reckless, of course, but this is about changing your family and taking full control.
We were just talking about Black Friday in our segment before this with holidays coming up. How do parents, if they are co-parenting and maybe separated if they are, how do they balance that? And especially too as a female, how do you balance that in terms of figuring out what finances you're going to allot toward giving gifts?
Well, I think we all collectively, I don't care what your family status is, take a step back and think about how much you're spending during the holidays. Do your kids really need any more junk cluttering the room that they're not going to play with, right? Like, let's just look at that. Look at your values. What are your values when it comes to money and holidays? Most people don't say stuff is important to them. They say family time is, community, service, spending time in experiences with their loved ones. Get in touch with that. Communicate that with your co-parent if you can, if you have a communicative relationship with them. Speak with them and talk about it. Say, you know what? I really don't want to spend that much money this year, and chances are they don't either. Get together, figure out what the kids need. You know what? My kids, they have the grubbiest, oldest lunch boxes. So I'm going to buy them some cool lunch boxes because it's something they need and it's going to seem special because they're going to be cool.
Yeah.
Right? Like, get realistic about it. Share that with the other parent. And if the other parent is not cooperative, well, that's okay. You're still going to be living with your values and your budget, and that's what's most important.
Earlier, you talked a little bit about having a second job or a side hustle.
Yeah.
Do you recommend that single parents go and get that side job, get that second job? And if yes, is there a certain type of job that is better?
Well, right, there's a lot of advice out there that it's great job security. It can be really fun and interesting to have that second thing going on. And again, we're talking about financial security for families, so absolutely. And we're in this time where there are so many great opportunities for women, especially if you're caring for kids, to do these things from home. For example, selling life insurance, that is a great business model. You can do that part-time, you can graduate and move that into full-time. People find it very meaningful. You can connect with people in your family and your communities, and women and moms are great at that. Lots of online digital virtual assistants, media gigs that keep you home, which is a huge priority for moms, and you can make great money at it.
All right, good stuff here. Emma Johnson, congratulations on the book, by the way.
Thank you so much.
Author of The Kickass Single Mom. You see it right there.